There is an organization in our community dedicated to helping people who face unthinkable acts of partner violence and sexual assault. For more than a century, caring professionals have responded when people are most vulnerable and helped improve the fates of thousands of men, women, and children. Now, the team at the Center for Women and Families wants to turn these ripples of change into waves of transformation for our entire community.
We are a crucial part of the safety net of this community. We not only save lives, but we also help people rebuild their lives. Those who have been traumatized by domestic violence and sexual assault, they get to find economic success, they get to rebuild their self-esteem, they do healthy relationships, they get to parent their kids differently. So our mission is one of those incredibly powerful opportunities for people to transform their lives and to become self-sufficient.
Think of that, how the center responds in crisis. My feeling is, well, they're the authority. They know how to handle a woman or a man who shows up at their door, scared, probably with children.
Because they've gone through usually abuse and sometimes terror. Sometimes it's been going on for a long period of time, and they just need people there to help them.
Because these people are beaten down. They're worn down, they're exhausted. And if we can get them out of the families and get them somewhere like the Center for Women and Families, they can recreate their lives again.
There is this feeling of warmth and acceptance, of non-judgmental, of, for the people that are residing there. They're just, how can we help? And how can we get you back on your feet?
No one is immune to intimate partner violence and sexual assault. Survivors are found among all income and education levels, all races and ethnicities, every age group, and any gender identity or sexual orientation. The Center offers a wide range of services to help survivors meet their immediate needs of shelter and safety, and then empowers them with the tools to build a new life of self-sufficiency. We provide these services free of charge, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to people in Metro Louisville and to those living in the rural areas and smaller communities of our neighboring counties.
In rural areas, people are very committed to that regionalism, that self-sufficiency, that we take care of our own. And by the time we see people in our rural areas, they're at highest risk of getting killed.
So I think the rural areas make it even more of a tight community where they're more fearful about doing something about the situation.
They get a very different message from us, which is we're here to support families, we're here to support you, we're here to create safety, and we're here to help you figure out what you want to do with your life and for the life of your children.
One of the biggest passions that I bring here is to want to really transform the way we do our work and to implement trauma-informed care where staff receive a different kind and level of training, a real in-depth understanding of trauma and how trauma affects people's mind, body, spirit, and how as a system of care we can respond really holistically.
Research tells us that the children who come here with their parents are more likely to return here as adults. Research also gives us hope that with early intervention that is trauma-informed and client-centered, we can break that cycle of abuse.
Fear and extreme inordinate anxiety is not normal for the brain. And that's going to mean that the brain is busy in this fight or flight mode too long for normal neurological connections to be made that are there to help us do other good things like pay attention, like learn, like process and remember.
We recognize that child's individual needs and that family's individual needs. We tell them that it's not their fault. We offer them a safe space to create a new story about who they are in a positive light.
It is the hardest work I've ever done. I've never seen the kind of damage on clients and our staff that this kind of violence has on the psyche, the soul of the folks who witness it every day, who are on the front line every day.
listening to trauma stories over and over again. We know that really is a hazard of doing this type of work. And the research tells us that if you tell this out loud, if you speak to a trusted colleague, if you have an outlet for the stories that you hear, you're going to be less impacted and more well in your work.
The statistics regarding power-based personal violence are staggering. Every 2 minutes, someone in the United States is sexually assaulted. 1 in every 4 women and 1 in 14 men will experience intimate partner violence in their lifetime. In Louisville, more than a dozen people are killed each year due to intimate partner violence.
Domestic violence is clearly a public health issue. We're talking about the impact on kids and their mental health. We're talking about the impact on families and their mental health, their social health, financial stability.
You're going to have the greatest impact when you treat the root causes as opposed to the symptoms of any disease. So if we think about violence as a disease, you want to go to root cause.
We believe that if we can really move upstream to help with prevention, it's going to help our communities to stay healthier. It's going to decrease the overall cost of health care, and it's going to help our families be more able to pursue those parts of the American dream that are important to them.
What do we do to prevent it? What are we doing in schools to help understand the coping skills that people need to develop so that they resolve their disputes in a more collegial fashion? What are the things that we do to make sure that our emergency responders, if there is an instance of violence in our community, that our police, our fire and EMS folks all understand what their role is in potentially saving the life of the victim impacted or preventing a situation from escalating?
Our officers find themselves trying to convince victims that they can make changes in their lives and changes in their circumstances. And I think often they hear victims talk about all of the reasons why they're not comfortable making those changes. It's because of the kids, because of the pets, because of our finances. The thing that the Center for Women and Family provides is an answer to those issues.
So the center needs to lead the tough conversations, needs to talk about healthy relationships, needs to talk about conflict resolution, needs to talk about being an active bystander, needs to be at the forefront of prevention.
Having the Center for Women and Families lead means people are paying attention.
It's really important to the rest of us, to the rest of the community, and I think it sends a message to other organizations that they can also come out of the closet and talk more openly.
I think in this day and age where you have cash-strapped organizations, you have shrinking donor funds, shrinking government dollars, it's wonderful to have an organization that works in a proactive fashion with so many organizations and so many individuals in town and really wants to be part of the conversation and part of the solution.
Keep this in front of us, because there are many good causes out there that can get our attention. This is a really important one.
The Center for Women and Families and I invite you to join us in our effort to really move this community and this society towards a world without violence. We need your help, we need your talent, we need your trust that it's possible, and we'd like to invite you to join us on this exciting journey, a journey that we have not entered before and that we cannot do without you. So please come with us as we move forward.